Francis, you are now Steven Gerrard. Got it?
Nice.
Real quick.
Like it. Hayne.
Jarryd
Hayne.
Jarryd
Hayne.
There you go. Nailed it. Jarryd Hayne clip. Really cool stuff coming out of this. One, we've done a clip on Jarryd Hayne already. The rugby league player who made the San Francisco 49ers roster.
Fumbled his first.
Touch, but look.
Recovered pretty okay.
Shaking hands.
Yeah, shaking hands.
Okay. He still looked pretty good on his runs. He doesn't get many touches. He's pretty good blocking when he's on the field. I'll give him that. Still rooting hard for this guy. I just love the way he runs the football. What he did in preseason was great. What he's been doing off the field is great because he's been acknowledging prankster videos that came out from the guys that we're going to show you that video first. Quite creative, quite funny. I give this a 9.5 out of 10. Let's see the video.
How you going? I'm Jarryd Hayne. Let's play some football. They call me the Hayne train. Woo! Let's go. Let's go. Beat Haney. Beat Haney. 38, 38, 51. Do it! Jarryd Hayne! Jarryd Hayne! Woo! Oh! Hayne train, baby! Woo! 38, 38, kangaroo, 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 kangaroo! Go! What do we... Oh my God! Oh my God!
38, kangaroo, Jarryd Hayne!
But in my defense, I don't know why it's in my defense, but when I hear someone shout Omaha in a hike, I don't know what that means either. So someone did shout kangaroo, I'd probably be like, all right, it's a play.
Part of the play.
It's part of what they're doing.
Omaha, that took over the NFL when Peyton Manning. It was unbelievable. The headlines, every single headline read that entire season. What is the difference between Peyton's Omaha and Aaron Rodgers' Nebraska? I was like, what is this?
Yeah,
it seemed made up.
They're just saying it.
They use some of these things are called hard counts to try to draw the defense offsides into the neutral zone to get a penalty. Other times it's to throw off the team or just get inside your head because Peyton Manning was an at the line of scrimmage play caller. Basically created his own offense. So they would scream Omaha, or he would scream Omaha, for whatever reason, nobody really knows. It's part of the play call. Some of it also has to do on what count. Sometimes it's the hard count of on 2. Yeah. So Omaha 2 hut. So they know 2 right then after that's going to come. Other times it will be on hike. Just depends on their system.
Do you know what I would do? I would do the William Wallace. Hold! Hold!
Charge.
Hold!
You probably get some offside.
Freedom! That's it.
You'd be the most interesting quarterback in the NFL, hands down.
They would shite their pants.
So Jarryd
Hayne.
Thank you. With that great video, the Royal Stampede, they're great pranksters on YouTube. Jarryd Hayne acknowledged it.
He did?
With a tweet.
Oh, that's all you need.
Aussie humor at its best. I'm very humbled to have that much effort put into mimicking me. And they really did a great job. I do love some of those parts of that video where he just gets really into it, the commentary of it. But speaking of the commentary, as we transitions are weird, right?
When you say let's transition, it's weird.
It's a Bo Burnham
When you
joke.
say it's weird.
It's a Bo Burnham joke. Watch more Netflix comedy.
Get off your couch and go and do something. Stop watching stuff like The Simpsons and South Park.
Coming from the guy who has a selfie album with everybody in the Vampire Diaries. Moving forward.
Close it in.
Moving forward.
Like Jarryd Hayne?
One of the Aussie bloggers for the NFL has taken the world by storm for his almost comedic view at the NFL, even though to him it's just what he saw and how he live. There's live blogs. The Guardian does it, and so does Bleacher Report, a million different places for games. So, because Jarryd Hayne from Australia, Aussie blogger, look at the Week 1. Week 1 blog was so amazingly funny. Let's have a look. There's 2 quotes I'm going to read. 1, well, funny game, National Football League. Or our Jarryd, after a golden run through the trials, has some real bullets fired at him, comes up with a fumble on a wobbly punt by the Vikings punt man. Tom Sula, coach of the 49ers, paces the line like he's a bear in a cage. Doesn't like it. Vikings ball. They come up short of the line in the face of a wave of Niners D. Top D. D-men. And now we'll have another break. Lots of breaks. No one would get tired. This much is certain. He continues to say, in the next part of the quote, which is great, or at least later in the game. Righto, what's doing? Monday Night Football game. Another break? Fair, few breaks. Not exactly the Helsinki Marathon in terms of aerobic exercise, but it's fast and physical.
Yeah, and this is what's actually hilarious is like when me and the Geordie did the whole American commentary. This is what we think when we hear Americans commentate on our sport. You know what I mean?
Is that what we sound like?
Well, when you're talking about
when the offense striking with the ball.
Exactly. When you tell me, oh my God, that was a laser in the upper V, I'm like,
is that what it's? I've never said that.
But that
I would say, has anybody ever said to you, man, that ball was on a rope?
yes, frozen rope.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that means. I thought it meant that the rope in the back of the goals was frozen.
That's from baseball. When someone hits a line drive, like a fiery line drive as hard as they can.
Again, what's a line drive? Why don't you just say you hit the ball hard and it went out the
Okay,
field?
a line drive, when you hit the ball so hard it gets out of the park in a second. Instead of those towering...
Who's driving it?
The hitter's fucking driving it. So when line drive, it's a rope. It looks like it's on a rope. It's going
Jason,
that
I've
fast.
lost you. I lost you back there. But
That's a great
but
phrase.
That is great. That blog, because it definitely speaks to me. Because if I was to start commentating on American football, the way I would talk about soccer, it'd be hilarious. It'd be the same thing. Whereas when you hear Americans talking about soccer, it's the exact same thing. We actually used to have a segment in the UK about. So it was a show called Soccer AM, and it was based on the Americans talking about the game. And there's also one about Australian. There's an Australian commentator who's made himself very famous on Facebook who talks about soccer games in a very dirty kind of Australian way. Dirty. Shacks in the water.
Kangaroo, hut.
Kangaroo, want to buy shacks in the water, want to buy kangaroo?
All right, so we leave with this one. We now know the important difference because we made some bad distinctions in our last year and a half of TYT sports. Rugby and rugby league are two different sports.
We knew.
Thank you to one of the TYT Next submissions in regard to that, because they made the comparison that it's like calling basketball and netball the same thing. The only problem is I don't know what netball is.
I know what netball is. It's a sport
It's like handball?
that is, it's. Do you know the difference between like men's lacrosse and women's lacrosse?
You can't hit
You
in
can't
women's
hit
lacrosse.
in women's
Yeah,
lacrosse.
yeah.
It's very similar. Netball is a net that stands alone, and it's like a no backboard. So you just need to like kind of float it in. But as soon as you get to an area, all they can do is like this. Just kind of stop you. You have to just stand still. People just literally like. In we go. I don't know. It's not one of my favorites.
No idea what you're doing. But we leave you with a Rugby World Cup TYT Next submission on what's been going on in the Rugby World Cup.
Name?
Hugo Tobias.
Have we had him before? That sounds like a very distinctive name. Is your star on the Hollywood Boulevard? Hugo Tobias.
So let's do a recap of the talking points from the first round of the Rugby World Cup pool matches and have a quick look ahead to round 2 as well. So in Pool A, England beat Fiji 35-11, and although they looked comfortable, I'm sure England would have liked to have won by a bit more than that and maybe been a bit more dominant in the match. Now, Wales beat Uruguay very comfortably. It was 54-9. But they're not going to take a huge amount of solace from this match as they lost yet more players to injury. They are already under strength and they can't afford to lose any more players. I mean, they couldn't afford to lose the amount they already have. So next up, Australia. They are going to take on Fiji, and Australia are going to want to stamp their dominance on this. They're emerging as a potential favourite here, and they're going to want to get a bigger win than England did. It'll set their stall out. Following up from that, England, they're going to play Wales. And I fancy England to take the win here, especially with the Welsh team being as under strength as they are. England are going to really look to impose themselves on Wales and make a big mark on. Wales, on the other hand, they're going to be desperate to prove that they're not going down. They're going to really come out fighting for this one. But I still think England will take this one. They've got home advantage and they're looking generally stronger. Going on to Pool B, Samoa. Now, they were forced to battled really hard to overcome a stubborn USA team, but they did manage to come through 25-16. The US can take some comfort from the two tries they scored in that match, though. Now, the big match, obviously, Japan really stunned the world of rugby with a 34-32 win over one of the tournament favourites, South Africa. South Africa have come in for some heavy criticism at selection level. And this is only going to add to the pressure on coach Hayne. They will look to try and bounce back against Samoa, but I fancy Samoa will smell blood and go in for the kill. Especially against a South Africa team that are very, very short of confidence. But I think South Africa will hang on for the win. It's going to be closer than everyone may have thought, though. Now, Japan taking on Scotland. Now, this would previously have been an easy win for Scotland, but Japan are seems very nervous about the moment. My one question is whether Japan spent too much energy in overcoming the box, and will they have enough left in the tank to take on a fresh Scotland side who haven't even played yet? Still think this will be a Scotland win, but I don't think there'll be much between them, and I think players that Scotland may have rested will not be rested for this game. Now, Pool C was Georgia producing another sort of bit of a surprise matchup to overcome Tonga 17-10 in another upset. It was a good mix of veterans and youngsters in this game, and Georgia really stood up and be counted, and were counted as a nation with an impressive talent pool. Now, New Zealand they were playing Argentina and they really struggled to get over them. It was 25-16. Now, Argentina can take some comfort from this in that they really hung in and refused to see the game as lost, and they really made New Zealand battle for every point. Now, this will set up an interesting tie between Argentina and Georgia in the next round. I think this is going to be another Argentina win, but look for this to be a fantastic battle in the scrums, as that's where both teams have their real strengths, and they've got some real good scrumming specialists there. New Zealand are coming up against Namibia. Nothing to say in this one. New Zealand are going to win comfortably, and will probably use this as an excuse to blood some of the more inexperienced players in the lineup. Finally, in Pool D, now Ireland had a great opening day win over Canada by 50 points to 7. They won't really have learnt anything from that match they didn't already know. Now, Canada suffered through losing Jamie Cudmore, their captain, to a yellow card during the match for 10 minutes, and I don't think they will have learnt much other than their disciplines are going to need to improve. France took a good win over Italy in the other match, and they showed they're still improving well at the moment. Michalak was running the show, and although it was a scrappy game, I think they're going to be happy with the overall result. Now, France are going to look for more of the same when they come up against Romania, and again, like New Zealand, they'll be looking to rest some of their more key players. Although, judging by the South Africa result, they may look to avoid any upsets and field a full team, as Romania have proven that they're not pushovers. Now, Italy are going to be taking on Canada, and I'd like to see them make a mark on them to give themselves some confidence. I see a comfortable Italian win, and I'd like to see their backs get in on the action, as we already know the Italians have a really good scrum. So, that's my roundup of round 1 and how I think round 2 is going to go.